Good evening, everybody. Just Pure Talk tonight here with the best team in town, Akai and Sam Truck, that has completely joined us as a crew now. He used to be just like an invite, now he's a crew. So, yeah, tonight we're going to be going off. So, hi, everyone. DJ Verm, forgot to say my name. DJ Verm, we're going to kick this off. We're going to be talking about a couple of topics. Like, Just Pure Talk is a full talk of everything. It's not just like one thing. So I try to ask my buddies to get some topics sometimes out of the government. But these days, there's so much stuff going on that we go back to the government all the time.
Because it's a cluster.
That said, just before we hit, don't forget to come and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and our platforms like YouTube and all that we stream every night. So it's a live show. Just to remind you guys, it's a live show, so we could say some nonsense. But that's how me and Akai like it. We like it live. So we try to control ourselves, but we like it live. So welcome to Just Pure Talk. How you doing, guys?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Had a good week.
So anything special that you've done since last week?
No.
Regular
same old stuff.
Something, Akai. What is this? You're
becoming like... It was really cold out.
I think you're work. It's because you work now, eh? You're becoming boring.
But no, it's because it's because it was cold out. Like so cold. I was going to install my battery in my truck.
Joking. Yeah.
But my fingers just don't operate below 40.
Oh yeah, well it's really cold. It is cold. How much is it over there?
Can't do that right here.
Okay. How much is it over there?
It was in the 60s today.
So 60 in Celsius is what?
Fahrenheit, Berm.
Yeah,
no. So he's trying to figure out what it is in Celsius.
Yeah, I'm Celsius, so I just always get mixed up with all this. So whatever, it's cold. It's cold for you guys.
No, 60 is pretty warm out here.
It
60 degrees is warm. So let me see if I can
commercial for Van Hook.
I'm trying to you know what? I know how to do this. We'll ask Google.
Van Hook coffee. One of the best coffees.
F2.
Wouldn't it be like 30 something in Celsius?
No. It's 15 C.
Hey, people listening to us at the moment, it's the English podcast that we have every week. So
it was 15. It was 15 C. This
15?
15, which is beautiful. It's gorgeous, especially this time of year. It's crazy.
I mean, 15 for me, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I'd be in a t-shirt in 15.
We're in t-shirts at 15, okay? Because but
yeah,
it's gonna get colder this weekend, and then it's gonna dip back down again. It's just
winter,
warm wave.
Yeah, winter's not finished yet.
Yeah.
So, guys, tonight we have a chat. Akai brought up immigration with Trump, so we're going to talk about that. Military weapons in Afghanistan. What?
There's a lot of that going on. A lot of immigration stuff going on.
Yeah, military weapons in Afghanistan. So there's a couple of things going on in the world with that, and then Ukraine minerals for aid. Yeah. And I have, on my part, I found there's some text. I don't know if I want to read it all, but there's some text that is so weird. Someone wrote a text, and this is official. I found that they wrote a text a little bit to try to express themselves on what's going on with our President Trump. So we'll see. We'll go off with our stuff. I don't want to do
our President Trump.
Did I say
Governor Verb for us?
I think Verb just said our President Trump.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That whole 51st state idea is starting to warm up over there.
I say that by respect. I'm saying,
well, you are a governor,
Verb. We hear about. It's hard that we hear about. I am not going to be a state. You'd like that because you would get travel up to here.
Dude, it would make it so much more easier for me to travel up there.
You pay less in taxes.
Gas would be cheaper.
Yeah, not Is it liter up there by the gallon up
Yeah,
there?
but hey, I got something to tell you. You say gas is going to be cheaper. It's going up for you guys.
It's
but
not.
But you're going to come and get my gas because now it's going to become American. So it's for sure it's going to be cheaper.
It's going to be
We
cheaper
won't need to
because
sell it to you guys anymore.
it's going to be cheaper because if the gas price, they'll just drill here like they should be doing. But
Yeah, true.
But see, since we're talking about that, this is a good one. I've worked. It's so weird, and I know it's still 30 days, so he pushed it off for 30 days again.
the whole
Not
tariff
again
thing,
now, eh?
the tariff thing.
Yeah, that tariff thing. So they're kind of negotiating. He's been Trump has been talking to Trudeau and the Mexican president. So the one thing that I'm trying to wonder is they talk about that 25%, but
Which is not bad.
why suddenly had they brought it down to 10 just for the gas, for the oil?
It's
You
down
wanna
to
see
10
up
for
more?
everything. It's
No,
down to 10.
technically it
It's
was
down to
just
10.
gas.
It's down to 10
Oil,
because
sorry.
it's down to 10 because Canada is going to man up and put troops on the border and do their part to protect the northern border.
Yeah.
And
About time.
I know they wrote they kind of told us how many men and women they're going to be onboarding on that, and there's something. It's okay. I'm okay with
there's
that.
a lot of people that will get a visa to get into Canada because it's easier to get a visa to get into Canada. Like if you're coming from Jamaica, get a visa into Canada.
Yeah.
Because you could fly there almost direct and then walk across the border to do some shopping and never come back. And then
Yeah, totally. But like they're saying about Mexico, and I understand that. We all want to protect our borders. Well, maybe there's a couple of stories about that. I still have a difficulty as a Canadian. I gotta say, guys, I'm Canadian.
You want to protect your borders. I still have a
difficulty about that fentanyl thing.
Yeah.
They keep saying Canada has like a really big. No, it's 4%. It's already 4%. It's too much. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's right. Okay, I'm just saying that
it's not all about fentanyl. Fentanyl is just one of those keywords that they can use that makes it
totally.
It makes it sound so bad. But
if you're the 51st state,
everybody,
we can lock you down.
Everybody, the reason why they want to do the tariff thing is he wants to bring jobs back to America. He wants to bring the manufacturing back to America, and he wants to make the U.S. supply chain side strong again, like it was in the 50s and 40s. And Canada, the reason why they tariff everything to this day is because they want to keep Canadian manufacturers producing in Canada and keep Canadian products Canadian. Right?
Yeah.
And it's no different than what Canada is doing. Trump's just being vocal about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Bobby.
Because if there's things that if I tried to import them into Canada, I'm gonna get told a flat no.
Okay.
I can't import that, but you can import it into the States.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is,
all he's trying to do is make that an even field.
Okay.
Well, also,
which I can't blame him.
Yeah. Well, also with the pandemic that happened, you see a lot of shortages, and it was something where it's like we were probably both sides, Canada too, were short on a lot of things. He wants to bring that stuff in so that don't happen again.
Okay.
It's like IV bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Think something like an IV bag. Do you know there is only one FDA certified facility in the United States that produces IV bags? And do you know where it is? Like IV bags, right? Puerto Rico.
Okay.
He got wiped out by a hurricane a couple years ago. and there was an IV bag shortage. They can't bring them in from other countries and stuff like that. All that stuff comes from a certain plant in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to do is bring the manufacturing back.
That's why he wants to bring pharmaceuticals back into this country. He wants to tariff the crap out of drugs that are made in China because he wants the pharmaceutical companies to start back up here in America.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want China to go, you pissed us off this week. We're shutting off all drugs to the United States. And then we're scrambling to find heart medication, blood pressure meds. There's like 260 some critical medications that are made in China and nowhere else in the world.
Okay. But I'm with you on this. I'm just trying to figure out that, at the beginning, ain't it the American companies that threw that for cheap labor, threw it in China and stuff like that to get the medication costs down? No,
make it cheap and sell for high.
And so, how do you get American businesses to come back to America? You make the cost of manufacturing and importing it so expensive that it's cheaper to make it back in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that with tariffs.
Totally. I'm totally.
For instance, Canadian lumber, right? We have lumber mills in this country. We have lumber. We've got a lot of lumber here. It's cheaper to buy lumber from Canada and ship it down.
Yeah.
Which puts American lumber mills out of business.
Okay.
So he's going to tariff Canadian lumber so it costs the same. And if you have the choice as a citizen of your country to buy American made or Canadian made, are you going to buy American maple syrup if you live in Canada? How many Canadians are going to buy American maple syrup versus on the shelf right next to it where it says Canadian maple syrup and they're priced identically the same?
Well, at the moment, if we're talking now, they're not going to buy it.
Yeah, but I'm talking just in general.
In general, if there would have never had nothing, I understand. Okay, but I mean, yeah, but I'm just telling you that at the moment,
the people that are going to get uppity and not buy stuff and be mad at America and all that stuff, those people are far and few between. It's a certain group.
Yeah.
Right. But the rest of the people don't give 10 farts. They're just trying to survive day to day, and they're going to buy the cheapest product on the shelf. They don't care where it comes from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for sure. They're going to buy no name.
If you have a choice.
No brand.
But if the product, if the Canadian product and the product from another country, not even American, but the product from another country are priced identically the same.
Okay.
You as a Canadian are more likely to buy Canadian because you're Canadian.
No, but for sure. I mean,
just like here in America, if you put a Canadian product and an American product on a shelf and they're priced identically the same, people are going to buy the American product because they want to support their country.
Unless they like the Canadian product. I mean,
yeah.
But I know.
True.
I mean, some people are going to prefer.
Yeah, there's product preference, and I get that.
We're not going to talk about the brand, but I mean, like ketchup, not to say the name.
Yeah.
There's always that issue with the ketchup. That's
it's because a packet full of
made in America.
Darn sugar. What are you putting sugar in this junk for? Ugh.
No,
or a lot of vinegar.
I know we're all checking our sugars now.
The vinegar I'm fine with. It's the sugar.
I gotta have that perfect balance, and there's some that just go too overboard on vinegar.
You need to be sugar free.
You do too.
I am working on it.
You're working on it, but it's a two-way street here, bro. It's a two-way street. You can talk it, I can talk it back.
No, you can't, because I've been doing it longer. I'm losing weight. Mm-hmm. Pound sand.
No, yeah, totally. So I understand your point. you know, it's obvious that these days we're not really understanding each other. But I do understand that, you know, for sure that tariffs are going to make tariffs are going to make people buy more. Well, you know, more American, more, and bring. I don't know. I have my opinion,
So
and I'm saying
you go to the Wally World.
Look, I'm talking about,
and you buy a bunch of Chinese stuff, right?
Yeah, but that's it.
It doesn't last.
Yeah, what I want to say is, I understand, but I'm talking about Canadian American that, you know, we're kind of a little bit the same. I'm not saying that, you know, we do have differences. Look, you guys, when you come and buy here in Canada with your American dollar, wait, so it's at what, 147, 150? So you're buying everything half price.
No.
At the moment. Why no?
It's not half price.
Well, I mean,
what's a gallon of gas cost up there?
No, I know. Yeah, okay,
we've had this discussion.
No, but I mean,
if I go buy a gallon of gasoline up there, it's still going to cost me more in American money than it would be to buy a gallon in the States.
Wow. Let's try not to go in gas, because I know the gas prices here in Canada are like, they're high.
What's a dozen eggs go for now?
A what?
A dozen eggs.
No, I know. I've overheard that you guys, it's at $15.
What's a dozen eggs? Well, like now?
Oh, for us?
The only eggs that we're allowed to get now here in the state of Colorado, which is the stupidest freaking rule ever, is free range eggs.
Okay.
You in California for that BS.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have farm eggs, like, you know, where they're raised in little cages and the eggs roll down the little ramps. We're not allowed to have that anymore. So now our eggs, no, I'm serious. So the cheap eggs,
that's why they're about at $15
are $10 for a dozen.
Yeah. Now, but I know there's a journalist here in Canada that was saying that your eggs are, some parts of the states, your eggs are at $15 for a dozen.
Yeah, because
I bought a 60 pack. It was $30. That's the cheapest way to buy them.
Okay, so I'm lucky to have Canadian chickens.
Well,
until the liberals get up there, until the liberals get up there and tell you that no, those chickens, they got to be cage free.
Mm-hmm. We have that.
Yeah, but you buy the cage free ones. They're not $5 a dozen. They're $8.
No, they're about, I think they're $7 ish.
Yeah, and then when the cage free becomes the only game in town that you're allowed to have, all of a sudden, miraculously overnight, now they're $15 a dozen.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but I don't understand. Okay, because you guys there's some kind of a limit on the eggs. There's a law.
There's a law on how the eggs are raised.
Yep.
It's like in California, you can't have like factory bacon. You can't have a factory hog farm in California. You cannot sell factory hog farm products in California. So your bacon's got to be off free range pigs. Do you know how expensive it is to raise free range pigs?
Okay, so that's crazy.
And their eggs are the same way, and yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, see, us here. Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well,
finish
it's something where you have to have so much space per hog to be considered.
And that's actually started in Europe.
Okay.
That started over in the EU. That's where that stuff comes out of. That's why it's so hard for smaller farms over in Europe to raise certain types of animals, because they don't have the space required to raise them per the law. And it comes down to dollar and cents. It's, when you put the pencil to the paper, it's not cost effective to raise that animal.
Okay.
So that's why they don't grow. That's why cows are not a big thing over there.
Yeah, because there's some pork and chicken producers that were in
Pork,
California.
lamb.
Oh yeah, and they're like fighting it because they said just do what they want us to do by the law. It cost us. One was like, I think, with like over $1 million to redo their whole farm and buy extra property, so it'd be cost effective. And I mean, it went up to like some places like, yeah, it would cost us $5 million. You know, buying the land, redoing the farm, and everything else.
Yep.
Wow. I am taking a moment here. I'm taking a moment here just to know everybody that's listening to us at the moment. English podcast. I'm repeating it because, you know, I do got a French community and I got an English community here in Quebec. And I'm Canadian. My two buddies, my brothers, are American, and we're having these discussions. You know, everything that's going on lately between the two countries, and we're all friends. There's no issue, but we talk about it because since they have the American side experience and I have the Canadian side experience, so we're just like debating.
And currently, I can't go to jail for what I say on Facebook. So
you can't go to jail for what?
What I say on Facebook, but you can.
but it's not about going to jail. It's about making sure that we don't get kicked off of Facebook because we say nonsense. So, with that said, let's not talk about the C word.
See exactly. What word?
Canada, or the other C word?
No, the C word that, you know, if we say it, then we get like warning. So okay, guys. So
the CCP
I know
virus?
We brought up to the table what?
The CCP virus? The China Communist Party virus.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. What's next?
Three topics tonight. So if people want to know what's going on, we're talking about Akai has brought up the immigration Trump. So I want
you want to kick off on the immigration stuff?
Yeah. So what's up with that? What I mean, I know you went deeper to go see for the information. So what's up with that?
Well, the U.S. military has been called out to a lot of different stations when it comes to the immigration. You know, they got Marines and all that down there on the border because the cartel started shooting at Border Patrol agents. Not very smart.
They've done that a lot.
They're not really smart. They're not smart.
Let me redirect you to what happened to Iran. That shot at us once, and then we blew up an oil platform and sunk half their navy in less than 8 minutes. So,
actually, it was 2 oil platforms, 3 ships.
Yeah, it
in 8 hours.
No, but I mean, you know, cartel.
It's not smart.
Country,
don't shoot at the border guards.
No, you don't shoot at border patrols. Okay. So I know that.
The ICE is hitting everybody hard. Job sites, schools, you know, places of work. They're going in and arresting like thousands of people in a whack. And they're deporting them and they're sending them back. And that was part of the deal with the president of Colombia, where he started balking at what stuff the United States was doing. And he's like, look,
they were criminals.
Either you take them back or we're going to raise your taxes and we're going to cut off all your aid.
Okay.
And of course they said, okay, we'll take them back. But the same thing happened to Mexico, but Mexico is now putting troops on the border to stop people from crossing over.
So you're saying that United States are putting military, because I know it's been voted. So they're putting military.
It's been deemed a national emergency.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's been it passed.
So that's why it's legal to do it, because usually there's a thing called the Posse Comitatus Act, and that doesn't allow you to use military troops for civilian police action. And so you have to has to be deemed a national emergency in order to bypass that. So that's what they're doing. So now they're using the military down there to help out with the border patrol, and they're also using military planes. And this article I got here was on Wednesday, which is today. A U.S. military plane carrying 100 undocumented immigrants landed in India. So they brought 100 undocumented people from India back to India. Trump is not playing around. If you're in this country illegally, either sign up for your free plane ticket home or go, because go get while the getting's good.
Yeah,
there's too many people I know that spent years trying to get family members, wives, into the country and doing it all legally. And my brother had to do it with two of his family members. Doc had to do it with his wife. It took them almost a year and a half for her to legally immigrate into this country, and now she's here. So we're very happy for them, and they had the baby. So if you didn't hear about that, great. Yeah, cute kid. Yeah, so that's it. They're going to start getting deported. ICE is going to start hitting these cities. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But is illegal immigration a big problem in Canada, or is it just one of those things that's just not talked about?
No, you saw on the news all that border stuff that's going on. So I don't hear about illegal. I think there's a good control because Canada has a good control over that. But is there one or two? We don't know. I mean, I don't know because I'm not part of it. But I could tell you one thing, that mainly Canada part should have a good control over that, because just the American border when they were crossing. What's that place there? They were crossing the American border, and then they started putting tents and stuff like that up. So I think the Canadian government has a control. Now, what's the percentage? There might be some people that slip.
I've seen the shows. I've seen the Canadian border guard shows and stuff like that, which is very interesting just to see how they work and the different terminology they use compared to, just being one line away, and and I know when I bring my truck up to come over, it's going to get torn apart.
Well, they'll check for sure. It's the same thing when we cross the border to go to the States. If it's something weird, they'll check. Apart.
They're going to be like, what's this?
I can't wait that you come to Canada.
What's that?
Hey, I can't wait you come to Canada, come eat poutine. We keep talking about it all the time. People are going to say you have a poutine Fraser.
Dude, I do. I love poutine.
And you got to come and see the rodeos. I mean, the gymkhanas. Gymkhanas, Akai. So I hope you get into the summertime where we have a gymkhana. So
I have to do that. And that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, a lot of buddies and great associations there.
I may have to fly up.
Because I'm sure that if you get the chance, I'm going to challenge you guys. If you get the chance, we're going to be broadcasting live. I'm taking this minute to do a little bit of sponsoring there. We're going to be broadcasting some gymkhanas live on TikTok. Okay. So if you have the chance really to come and look at it and tell me, because a lot of Americans are logging onto that TikTok. There's some Americans that have TikTok, and they keep asking us questions going, what's this? This is crazy. It's nice. It's cool. And we also went to, my nephew went to Calgary, because if we talk about the English Canada, Calgary Stampede, that's another popular one.
That's a big rodeo.
Yeah, it's a big rodeo. And see, they went to show the Quebec discipline, because gymkhanas are especially cooked. I don't know how to say it really good in English, but they're made, by the Quebec community, or Quebec. I mean, I'm not talking about languages. I'm just saying that it's a Quebec discipline. So people that watch it, they go crazy on it because there's a lot of stuff. Hey, I got my son Xavier, who is a in French we say sauteur, but a jumper. I don't know if we could say that in English. I've never had the term. I never had to say the term in English. And when he goes to Saint Tite, there are some people over there. There's a bull riders, and then there's a wild horse riders, and then so there's a lot of that discipline. Saint Tite's a really nice place to go. When he goes, he went to the kind of club they have over there, the Cowboys and all that. And people were going to my son and saying, "You're crazy." And that's the bull riders saying that, and the horse, wild horse riders saying that he's crazy, jumping on a 52-kilometer horse, like jumping on it to a 52-kilometer horse. So my son goes, "No, you guys are crazy doing the bulls. You guys are crazy." It's like two different worlds, two different.
I think it's that whole. I know what my risks are when I'm doing a sport, or when I was doing stuff in the military. I know what my risks are. And other people that were in different units be like, "You're crazy," and I'd be like, "No, you dudes are crazy because this is not a big deal." And I got to,
okay,
my job, and it's no big. I think that's where that comes out of.
Yeah.
Do you break up?
Huh. Yeah, I think he did break up.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, didn't know it was me or not.
I think you guys are back. So no, yeah, you're right. So the craziness about sports, craziness about a lot of stuff, craziness about what's going on the planet. But yeah, so let's hit the second one because it's really interesting. So you wanted to talk about all these military weapons that we have that were left behind by the American government. We'll say it that way, in Afghanistan.
They were left behind by Biden. That's the plain fact. The Biden administration.
No, I know, but I mean, they were left behind anyways.
And so, according to in 2022, the Department of Defense reports 78 aircraft, 40,000 military vehicles, and more than 300,000 weapons were left behind in Afghanistan. It's about a total of about $7 billion. And of course, Trump in Trump's way said, "Hey, give them back." But I also see it from the Taliban side as like, spoils of war, buddy. You left it. It's ours now.
Okay.
So, and a lot of this stuff, that, I know some of these planes and stuff got sold to, China and Russia, and so they could reverse engineer our technology.
Well, for sure.
Personally, this stuff should all been blown in place and left in shambles. If you're going to leave it behind, you should have burned it to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, we've always seen it. American or Canadian. Usually the military, if they can't take back the plane or the chopper or the Jeep, they blow them up usually. If they can't take it back, they don't leave it wide spaced open if you want.
That's liberal for you.
But, nothing a few tomahawks can't fix.
No.
Or drones.
Tomahawks, whatever. Yep, that's our airplane. Boom. Yeah, we just dismantled it on your runway. We don't care.
Okay.
We don't want you to have it, and we don't want anybody else to have it.
Yeah. So here's my second question, because, you piqued my curiosity when you said it's Biden. I understand the president's the president. Okay. Well, whoever's in position. Okay. I don't want to talk really about the individual. I just want to understand that. I mean, does the president really have, when he say, "Okay, I want the military to pull out"? Yeah, he'll say, "I want the military to pull out." Okay, I know that's the president that says that.
So the pullout stuff was all negotiated by Trump, and then the Biden administration was in office during that whole pullout situation. They were supposed to handle the pullout. Well, part of that is coordinating with your military leaders to get all that equipment evacuated out or destroyed. That's just part of the deal. Stuff gets left behind, but if you're going to leave it behind, you got to destroy it. So that way it's unserviceable, unusable, and unresearchable.
Yeah, totally. Because I mean, you don't want to give the military secrets. So I understand that. But now, when that was left behind, wasn't it when the Taliban were kind of taken over? They're retaken over. So Americans, I mean,
they had so many days
to leave left.
They had so many days to get out and blah, blah, blah. And they were going to hand over the airfield when they left. And what they should have done is just hauled all that stuff to one side of the airfield and burned it or melted it down. Somebody on that base has explosives.
Okay.
And all these bases had explosives somewhere, or a thermite grenade or something, or you know what? A can of diesel and a match.
Yeah, exactly.
This stuff is all highly flammable. I'm sure there was some gasoline laying around somewhere, some avgas.
Don't they have containers on the trucks? Don't they have containers on the trucks?
Oh, yeah. And how this stuff didn't all get destroyed just blows my mind. And I put that big fail on the administration and the military people that they had, that were selected, by because you got to be fooling yourself if you think people just got left in position after Trump left office. All those people got fired. All those people got moved to different jobs, and Biden's picks got put in to run all those departments, and Department of Defense and Secretary of Defense and all that stuff. All was Biden people. They got moved in there.
Okay.
And they were responsible for making sure this plan was going to get followed, that all this equipment was going to get out or get destroyed, and it didn't. It just fell through the cracks. And so the United States taxpayers are out $7 billion. $7 billion. I mean, that's just mind-blowing, that amount of number. And I know we talk about, millions and billions and trillions on the news all the time. But I don't think people understand. I mean, $1 million. There are people that will make $1 million in their lifetime. Like everything they earn will make $1 million.
Okay.
Over their entire life. And now you're talking $7 billion. That's a lot of people making $1 million in their lifetime to cover that. You know how much taxes? I mean, how many people you got to tax to get $7 billion?
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So it's
what do you do? When I was in the service, our gun truck had a demolition plan. If it was going to get left behind or we had to leave it, there was a plan. Explosives get planted here, 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 and here. They get mounted on this device, this device, this device, and we carry X number of pounds of C4. We carry detonators. We carry all that stuff on the truck. So, and that was just for our little gun truck, and every gun truck in the unit had that plan.
Okay.
So that way, that equipment didn't fall into the hands of the enemy. And you're telling me that people didn't? I'm sure people were screaming this and thinking this, but yeah.
No, totally. So, okay. So it's really interesting to understand that. So thanks again, guys, for enlightening my day.
And the Taliban doesn't give 10 farts what America says.
No.
They're not here.
No.
And they're not going to give that stuff back. They're going to do with it what they want. And I don't blame them. I don't
That's
blame
what
them either, because I'm like, look at all. So when you go to a Canadian military base, right? And out front, they got a little Russian BMP or a Russian tank that they got from Iraq or whatever from the Gulf War.
Yeah.
Out there on display so people could see it. This is what our unit captured thing. Would it be fair for Iraq to come in and go, hey, I want our tank back?
No. Well, no.
That's basically what we're telling. That's what we're telling the Taliban, even though I don't agree with it. I think, yeah, fine. You want to keep those things? Well, we're going to make it so you can't use them. Here's our final. We're just going to blow them in place when we see them.
Yeah.
They come out on a tarmac. There may be a Hellfire missile headed that way.
To destroy it.
Because I'm sure there's probably some drone that's in orbit over that country somewhere.
I mean,
satellite technology nowadays.
Yeah. Americans have, United States, you have a lot of technology, especially in the military part. You have a lot of technology.
So does Canada.
So, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that usually what we hear all the time is, we got Canadian
military. We got
What?
Canadian military that works here in this town.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of Canadians that work here.
Well, for sure.
And they all work with Space Command and NORAD and all the hush hush agencies and working in satellites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Doing their part.
For sure. Everybody teaches everybody something. Like we always said, because you're an ex-military, so like you always said, you went and helped out in Canada.
It's a joint operations thing. There's a huge joint operation thing between Canada and America.
Yeah, and I know you guys have fun also, because I know there's always I remember the days where there's challenges that you guys have. You do like a competition between each other, states and Canada. So you do, military. They always do that little competition to see who's. Where is everybody up to date and stuff like that, and then they do these missions and together, and
just we can make fun of each other, but you can't make fun of us.
No.
That's what we got to tell civilians. So if you see some military guys joshing the crap out of each other and you've never served, don't say anything. Please, dear God, don't say anything, because you will get your stuff jumped. From both sides, you won't know which way it's coming from.
I love you, Sam. I love you.
It's the truth.
Yeah,
it's the truth.
Not a problem. Okay, so I think we talked about Afghanistan enough. Let's hit that the last topic, and then we could go over and everything. Ukraine minerals. That one I need to understand. Ukraine minerals for aid.
Everybody has known that Trump has always said that he's not going to fund the Ukrainian war.
Okay.
He's not going to, and that's been one of his big things. He's like, look, it's a war we don't want to fund. That was something that Biden administration wanted to do. It's a lot of hard-earned money from the American taxpayers to go there. Well, President Trump suggested that Ukraine begin offering critical minerals to the United States in exchange for military aid.
Okay.
He's like saying, hey, basically pay us for what you're getting, which I don't have a problem with.
Well, we did that in World War II with England and Russia.
Yeah. You know how many countries paid us back on the Lend-Lease program?
I don't know.
Does anybody know the name of that country?
UK.
You ready?
No.
Rwanda.
What?
The only country to pay the United States back after World War II was Rwanda. The only country. Every other country out there that was involved in World War II owes the United States a debt, and they have never paid it back. Now, some of it's been forgiven to different countries, but that's what I wanted to say about China. If I was the president of China, president of the United States, I'd be like, hey, how are we working out this stuff here? You still owe us money from World War II. And not to mention, we give your country financial aid every year, which I'm still trying to figure out why. We're trying to help out the economy of China, and we're, doing all these healthcare programs and educational programs for Chinese citizens instead of our own. And then we have to borrow money from China. I'm almost at the point where, like, kind of feeling like it's a scratch.
So wait. So what I'm understanding right now is that I know I saw something pass on the news about that aid. There's a name for that, like international aid,
USAID or something. I think it's called.
Yeah, USAID. Yeah, that's it. USAID. So you're saying that you guys send money, say to China, because you're talking about China, to help them out for whatever. And now you have to borrow money back from China.
They bought some of our debt.
They buy our debt. They borrow our debt, and then we have to pay them back. But yet we spend money on aid programs to help them out.
Okay. Yeah, that's BS.
Okay.
But if I'm giving you money in aid, then I want that taken off my debt.
Well, technically, yeah.
Well, that's they're in debt with us. They still have them bonds that they have not paid back. They're saying, "Oh, that's the other government."
From World War II?
No. Yeah.
They said that was another government.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Which I think would be funny. I think that would be funny to do to China. Is just roll up there, become the president of the United States, and be like, hold that payment for 30 days. Yeah, I did. Hold it for 90 days. We're not paying China. Well, I used to. And when China goes, why aren't you paying us? Well, that was another government. Not my problem. And they'll be like, well, you can't do that. I said, well, you did it to us after World War II.
Okay.
Yeah. If not, you'd all be speaking Japanese.
Very much.
That crazy, eh? It's so weird, that money exchange. It's weird.
Crazy the amount of money that gets transferred around between countries with debt, and then people are into debt with these countries, and you start looking into it and you're like, how the heck do we owe China, for instance, all this money? And well, I guess the other part that really just hurts my brain is when it comes to government going, hey, we have a budget of $1,000.
Okay.
But we're going to spend $10,000. And we're going to do it every year.
Yeah.
We only make $1,000, but we're going to spend $10,000 every year.
Okay.
Now, I'm not a mathematician, and I'm not a financial wizard. But something from my, elementary days tells me that's bad.
For sure.
I mean, any idiot with an elementary education can automatically look at that and go, we're spending more money than we're taking in. How are we going to pay that off? And that's the big thing with Trump right now. And that's why he's got that, everybody's pissed off at Elon Musk because he got this office of efficiency thing going on, right? But they're pointing out programs and stuff that exists, stuff that's duplicated, stuff that's costing the American taxpayers money. That we're paying for media in this country. We're paying for print in this country. Why? They're all private businesses.
Uh-huh.
The only thing that's not a private business is NPR, and they run on donations.
Right? It's all about putting money in their distributors' pockets.
I should need to look it up right now. I believe it's Politico. Did not make payroll this month because yeah, the Doge office, Department of Efficiency announced that they were not going to be making payments to Politico, which is a private media company, for stuff that they do for supposedly for the government. They're canceling that contract. And so Politico has received, what as they said, $8.2 million from the U.S. government in the last 3 years, and 44,000 of that coming from U.S. aid. Why is U.S. aid giving money to the media? This is the stuff they're finding. And as much as people may hate them, I'm kind of thankful that they're stopping this stuff, because that's my tax money.
Yeah.
And right now, taxes are 40%. I got so close. So if they can save all this money and we can start paying down the debt and get reasonable to where I don't have to pay as much in taxes, maybe it's not such a burden for the government to do public health or public college,
public
because
health
you
is
have
stretching it.
No, look at the trillions that we're wasting and telling me that we can't spend that somewhere else.
College, or like the technical college, I can understand, but if we end up like some of these other countries, like UK, England, Canada.
Canada has free college.
Well, I'm saying, I'm talking their health care, how much they pay in taxes, and how long it takes to see a doctor.
Yeah, but Canada has the same problem the United States does. They're spending more money than they're bringing in.
Okay.
And the government's inefficient. Government and efficiency are two words that don't belong together.
Okay.
And I think we all can go, yeah, that's a little stupid to say.
We need to run it like a business, because there's only been one time in our country, if I remember right, that we were debt-free.
We were debt-free for many years.
But there's like only been one time when we were
decades debt-free. And that's when we were doing tariffs. We had a heavy tariff schedule, 25 to 50% on most countries.
Yes.
We weren't charging income tax to the citizens, because income tax is a new thing. It's only come out a couple times during his lifetime, and they decided after World War II, we're just going to keep it.
Yep.
Right? Because the government likes that money.
Mm-hmm.
And they started reducing tariffs before World War II because they needed materials. And so they lost the tariff income. They had to bring the income tax income in to tax the citizens. And that's why that whole generation of World War II people were wealthy, is because for a good chunk of their life, they never got charged enough taxes like they were getting taxed now.
Okay.
And so they were able to invest that money. And there were plans out there that if they invested in blah, 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 that it would grow at an even greater rate. And when you've got economic booms happening, after the 40s, the 60s, later in the, 80s, 90s boom, 2000 boom, and they got their stuff in markets, stocks and bonds, and they're able to put more of that into that. But the newer generations have less disposable income, and they're not able to invest as much. They don't have as much money in the bank. They don't have as much money in retirement.
Okay. It's
and these younger kids now are like totally disenfranchised. They're like, they don't even want to buy houses anymore.
They don't want to work.
And totally we all know now these days that houses are costing a lot.
Oh, it's outrageous.
But they're outrageous.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
I mean,
What's that town
You know,
that's up? There's that town that's up there. Technically, probably should be part of Canada, but it's actually America. It's over on the west coast of Canada, where people in that town have to drive through Canada, and they have to drive through 2 border checkpoints every day just to take their kids to school in America. And so houses there are like $200,000 to $400,000. As soon as you cross the line to go into Canada, like on the other side of that city, they're $1 million Canadian.
Yeah.
Did you see? You seen the podcast? Not a podcast, but it's not a podcast. This guy does this short. He does, Canadian houses versus European castles. And he's like, hey, you can get this lovely blah, blah, blah in the Ontario province, and it's all full of mold, and they want, 1.1 million Canadian, and it's destroyed, and it's going to have to be totally rebuilt, and, but it's in downtown Montreal.
Yeah.
And then he goes, or we got this lovely property in Spain that's got 14 bedrooms, 13, bathrooms, blah, 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 and it's $400,000.
Oh.
And the place is immaculate. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. I seen a lot of that. I don't know if you were talking about that building that you were talking about. I think it's was it the owner? Is it the owner of Goodfellow? I think is it Goodfellow Wood Shop or something like that? That he built himself something like about $1 million. Is it like 800,000 or $1 million house? And
one that's just rotting up there.
Yeah, he never finished it. He died. I think he died or something like that. Never finished.
Yeah,
it.
And he had tax issues and some financial issues.
Or maybe it was financial, but the lot's still there. And I watch a lot of that on YouTube.
They're trying to sell
young kids that do these videos there for all the houses that are left behind.
Yeah, the abandoned. There's some gorgeous abandoned properties in Canada
with everything inside.
Yeah,
everything inside. So I go crazy about.
There was one they did. The power was still on. The TV was still on. Had been on for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Somebody's still paying that light bill.
I don't know who's paying.
Somebody has to be.
What level are you on? No, but I know I watch a lot. That gets me serious. Sometimes it's the mafia house. There was a house that passed of our national singer, American singer there. What's her name? She's going with a football player.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
She had a house built. She had a house built for her parents. Then she never finished it. It's still there. And they went into it. A lot of American.
She had a house built in Canada.
Who?
Taylor Swift, or is it down here in the States?
No, it was in the States.
Oh, okay.
It's
she
American
never
guys.
it?
So I don't remember the state where it is, but it was like
probably Missouri or Mississippi or something like that.
There's still drywall cement, like bulks of bags of drywall cement in their cases.
I wonder why that happened.
I don't know. And she has the money.
Both pray to.
For some reason, she just decided that, I don't know. There's something that went wrong. So, but they go there. They talk about the history. They talk about who has it, who it belongs to. But I mean, they don't know why they stopped. They don't know why. So.
Well, I mean, some of these.
With that said, we're gonna have to talk about. I think we should do a show on that.
On the abandoned houses, abandoned properties.
Houses. Yeah, sure. A lot of our audience would listen to that story. We can't do videos, but we could talk about it.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that Sam Truck would have a lot more to say on that, since he's going all over all different states.
Yep.
No, Sam Truck's going. Yeah.
The only thing he knows in other states are truck stops.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about truck stops.
Abandoned truck stops.
And everything that goes with it.
There's one on the south side of town that turned into a pot farm.
Yep.
It's now a pot farm.
They're really clean. I heard they're clean.
Truck stops?
Okay.
Usually.
Yeah. They're like really.
It all
clean. I don't know
depends
why,
on
but they're really clean.
what ones you're at and where at. I've been to some that down
Yeah,
like
what?
Laredo, Texas, that I walked in and I'm like, no, thank you. See you later.
Yeah.
I'd rather go pee in a
could be a
bush.
good subject.
I'd rather go pee in a bush than pee in your building. It's that dirty. That's bad. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Well,
guys, we're at that time. It's already 10:03. I want to say thank you. There's a couple of you that stayed on like the whole time. So I want to say thank you to them. I want
Appreciate
to say
it.
thank you to everybody that listens to us also on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, because we do have a lot of high numbers. And come and join our stuff, because we never say it so much on YouTube. And Akai's going to do that part because I always give him that part. But it's important for us out there to you guys come and listen to us, because I see the numbers. You come and listen to us, but you don't join. And to make us grow, we need people to join all our platforms. It
So
helps
like
us
and
out.
subscribe.
You all know. Yeah. So I'll let Akai do his cheerleading.
Bill.
Go ahead.
When Verm talks about joining, he's meaning hit that like and subscribe button, so that way you get notified when we push out new material or when we go live. Also, if you would like to check out vermlandradio.com or LPV.com, it's lpvpodcast.com. Is that the other address?
Come on that one yet, but we still need to talk about it.
Okay,
But
that's going to be going on. And then you go out there, go to our web store and buy something. All those proceeds go back to help us keep this on the air. And we'd also like to thank Ruthless Rustlers for doing their sponsoring thing. And
who's sponsoring Verms Productions?
Sponsoring Verm Productions and what he does with the Jim Canna show and all that. But you can use that 10% coupon, which is Verms Fans -RR10, and get your 10% off of their stuff.
10% off your bill.
Yeah, which is always nice. Money saved is always nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
so
nowadays.
thanks, everybody. See you all next week, because the English podcast is every week, and then we got our Jim Canna show, who is every 2 weeks in French.
And if you want to polish up on your French,
talk French. So
listen to the Jim Canna show.
Yeah, come and listen to all our shows. We're
and
proud.
You can parler bien français.
And we do shuffle our conversations now. We don't just talk about our two countries. So
yeah. Okay.
So guys, everybody, have a nice one. See you all on our different platforms.